Ati for makwa baba de Likee TV. Best send number channel so hit adoman subscribe or like share ma wone pensemi bi eti so enye bi nti jemre ni adaje mu nsem ne ne den sema etwabu no yemfa emo ensem enyina emremo ne yebawroma yewra John Dramani Mahama akache no den nsem bi atodwa ama Mamudu Bawumia na meti ne report ma ebra mse oni message na say ni nsem ode ma Bawumia si John Dramani Mahama NDC 2024 presidential hope for is sounding the alarm. He says Ghana's top job isn't for jokers, with Ghanaians facing tough times. He thinks the upcoming election is too important for silly games. Mahama's not happy with how some folks are treating the race for president. He pointed out how someone handed over a made-up cow as a joke. He says that not okay when people are struggling. Yes, we need some John Dramani Mahama because what Chim say, this is not the time for games as a silly jokes and abba because Ghanaians are crying. Now, na NDC complicators needing sembi abobom pese utin semno ya bad ya kahona bidi emo sembe bremo.
There's even a single crude in the last 8 years.
Yeah. So as we are looking forward, you have a 4-year mandate. How are you going to get Tor or other refineries to work?
Good.
And then by extension, improve upon the strength of our city.
So first of all, that's why I said you must induce investment. I told you that I'm doing a work on foreign direct investment impact on your domestic market. Look, how did we get Ameri? Something they condemned, now extended. Now it's in Kumasi, I'm told.
Yeah.
Look, people are willing and ready to invest in our petroleum sector. In fact, it's one of the sectors that has surety.
The Ghanaian petroleum
sector. There's future in it.
I thought people were leaving. I thought investors were leaving.
You know why they are leaving? Regulatory frameworks, bureaucracies, political witch huntings. So, for example, a contract awarded during NDC government, now they are in charge. They witch hunt them out, and they bring their own people.
Yeah, but that's a situation that happened in a country called Ghana. So, should there be a change in government? What's the guarantee that the narrative will change?
No, it has to. You see,
it has to is not the same.
It will change. Let me tell you something.
Right.
When you have the hindsight of having held something and lose it and getting it back, you will be different. Do you get what I'm saying? President Mahama has seen it before. He knows the mistakes he did. Coming to get it, and look at the struggle he's going through to get it once again. When he gets it, to be different. So I'm just saying simply that all we need, you can't tell me that you are spending over $3 billion on refined oil a year, and yet you don't plan on getting oil refinery. Does it make sense to you?
It doesn't.
Are we so poor that we cannot set up? Look, Dangote own is just less than $613 million oil refinery. Are we saying that Ghana, we are so broke we can't afford
I get a feeling you're saying beyond Tema oil refinery, we can set up others.
You see?
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. In fact, the oil refinery setup should even go to Western region. We should go to Western region. Reason being that, one, we have what we call localization of factories, setting of factories. You set it closer to where your primary raw material is coming from. And the primary raw material, bulk of it is coming from Western region. That's why people were proposing that GMPC headquarters should be moved to Western region. The reason was because of localization. So my point is that to address this CD free fall, and it will fall further, let me tell you the truth, because the IMF told the government of Ghana that they should let the CD fall to its natural position. You know, they normally use short-term liquidity measure.
Yeah.
Bank of Ghana just pump in dollars for BDCs to go and buy, then they are cash trapped. When they need, they will go and borrow. Now we're out of the capital market. We can't borrow recklessly like we used to do because we're under a program.
We're coming there.
Do you get my point? So if you are able to set up a proper refinery, working refinery, in fact, that builds on inclusivity, not party foot soldiers. You must build it on competence. It must be on merit, and it must include all relevant stakeholders in the industry. look, we'll be able to achieve significant amount of foreign reserve. And the third and the most important one I want to talk about on primary export has to do with our gold. Look, we have basic things when you are doing licensing, prospectus, and all those things, recognizance licensing. One area has to do with government ownership. So we have the carried interest, the additional carried interest, and the royalties. My point is this. We have always, Ghana, relied on carried interest. Over 60 years.
What's a carried interest?
Carried interest means that, yes, I know that there is gold here, but I don't have the capacity to mine it. I brought investors there. Yes. Then I tell them that out of the 100%, I will take 10% for being the owner of it. Then you take your 90%.
Just as we recently wanted to do with lithium.
Did you get my point?
Is that what you
Yes.
said?
So my point is that, look, are you really, let's ask ourselves this basic question. 60 years ago, we've been doing 5 to 10% carried interest. Up till now, we don't have the capacity to own our mineral rights.
Do we?
What is so special? Even galamseyers can mine. Do you get my point? They don't do that because they own concessions.
But we are talking about responsible mining.
So my point is that
I'm saying
no, I'm saying that if you improve on healthy community-based mining, that's why I said the ownership of these mining processes should be all inclusive and owned by the community. My point is that if galamseyers can mine deeper in deep water, bring gold and sell, and you call it illegal, yet you are willing to give 100% of our gold reserve to foreigners and take only 13%. In this case, galamseyers will take 100% and to stay in Ghana. Repatriation of profit is also part of our reason why the city is not working. Because most of this extractive industry, the profit doesn't stay in Ghana. After they pay their corporate taxes, they shift it back to their owners. Because these are just branches. We call it the parent companies there, and these are subsidiaries. So once they make their profit, it doesn't stay with the subsidiaries.
So the solution will be?
So the solution is we must begin to reevaluate all new concessions that we discover. It must be properly owned, 100% Ghanaian.
How do you do that without deterring investors?
You see, that's why I said that new concessions. We already have existing concessions that we are doing partnership with. But all new discoveries, Ghana, we have what called personal knowledge. So are you saying that when foreigners come, they don't do transfer of technology? We should have learned from now. At least we are not just following them to be self-reliant on them forever. We brought them because they have technical know-how we don't have at the point. Now we've been there with them for about 50 years. We should have learned something. Transfer of technology. We must be able to own our assets.
Can same be said for the exploration area? Oil exploration area.
It's a new area that requires heavy investment. That's why I didn't really talk much about it, and I only said that one thing we must do is a refinery in that regard. That's why I didn't talk more on the extraction. But with lithium, gold, diamond, bauxite, iron, manganese, and all those things, Ghana must have an extractive board for those things. Not the comedy that they brought with Giziad, or what's the name that they put the MP for Yendi in, Farouk Ali Mahama. So my point is that ownership is key. If you don't own something, you don't direct how it should go.
Okay, couple of messages are coming through now. Wabra ye kwe no making can be dignity rights when what don't say na the democratic classroom ya said up. Let me bring in this issue of our both domestic and external debt exchange program.
Good.
And how that portends as a challenge possibly to the incoming administration. How would you
for headed towards 2024 election, or let peace prevail in 2024 election on Yugusaya Bomonkaya, but Mr. Come home. Na jemre na yankoso emos during the winter of my Ghana. No minus son goes into me funny to my penfra.
Deal with it. I mean, our current debt stock, as we all know, stands around 658.6 billion Ghana cedis. That's a huge jump from the one that he left before exiting. But the current situation is we've been locked up from the market. We are dealing with haircuts and exchange program. How would you be able to sail the country through in a situation of that magnitude?
All right. So first of all, let's analyze it from the cause of it. We all know the cost of where we are now is because of ballooning public debt, reckless borrowing from the external market and the domestic market. So look at something. You borrowed over $3 billion from the capital market. Now you are locked out. Do you know that for the fact that we're blacklisted from the international market, we wouldn't have gone to IMF. We would have continued on the borrowing spree. Yes.
Let's say, Ebra Yaka say, Yemoya Busia Biono. And one year who buy and also say, Yebeko IMF.
Yes.
Wow.
But for that, we would have still been going there. Now, domestically, when they blocked us from the external market, we came and crowded out businesses. Because when government issues treasury bills and commercial bank also has a coupon on their fixed deposit, the most sure, look, I studied economics throughout. Even I am still studying part of it in my PhD. Until recently, under Akufo-Addo, governments issued bonds or securities have been the most secured. We call it risk-free assets. So there are three categories of individuals we have. We have the risk neutral, the risk averse people, and then the risk loving. Risk averse means perils. Risk neutral is I don't care if it's there or not, and then risk loving are those who love it. Now, government issued security has always been sure because they will pay at the end. Until recently, that we knew that even government bonds are not safe. So the point is this: you borrowed so much that you are not able to pay your creditors. That is what led us to the debt exchange program. And it was not their decision. It was the decision of the IMF. Now, government of Ghana, through our help, however painful it is, and however mandatory they've imposed it on us, through the Dachi bonds, the extra PLC, and that of the government locally issued bonds, they have cut our hair by 137 billion Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Now let me tell you 4 impact it has on us. First of all, the reputational damage to our country.
Yeah.
For everybody to know that we can't pay our debt. Yes. What reputational cost? People are not factoring in the reputational cost it has, even on the next government.
That means that Ghana serious.
Exactly. If you bring your money, they won't pay. Exactly. That is the reputational damage it has on our economy. Wow. And even President Mahama, when he comes, he will suffer that.
Wow.
Because until he does a lot of prosecutions on why we got there, for people to take the NDC government serious, they will not come. That's reputational damage.
A lot of prosecution.
Exactly. People led us here. Is that not it? Haven't you seen the world most expensive pit in the world? People led us here. People took commissions to a tune of $158 million for just borrowing $3 billion for us. People led us here. They must answer.
But were they done under the remits of the law?
You see,
did they do anything illegal?
You see, we use a parliamentary democracy. So when it goes to parliament, you know the first term. Their first term, you know what happened now. 106 against 169. You have your say, they will have their way. So that one, the judgment, there's no delayed justice. The judgment will come. So President Mahama must begin to initiate serious prosecutions and accountability measures. Not through witch hunting, but state agencies must work to make sure that whatever led us here are accounted for. The second part.
And what impact would that have on our reputation if President Mahama succeeds with that?
So what it means is that foreign investors will have confidence that states can protect their investments. You see, any investment that you are putting, if you do international economics, they will tell you that what influences international foreign direct investment. They will say, One is the local country regulatory frameworks. Two is safety of their investment, peace and stability. So these three will guarantee investors that when you invest your money into a country, it is protected. So once they see that President Mahama is really serious and committed about making sure that accountability is key, they will know that their investment will be guaranteed. The second impact it had on us as a country is the loss of foreign direct investment. Apart from reputation, that Ghana is a country that don't pay their debt, will investors come now? Knowing very well that we can't pay our debt, they won't come. Yeah. So check something. This government in 2022, when they were saying that they will launch what they call Youth Start or something, yeah, they were expecting $538 million foreign investment.
True.
Only 93 million came.
Hey.
Why? Because confidence has gone down.
Yeah, do you
get the point?
Wow.
The third thing, let's look at its impact on banks. Because banks work as an intermediary between money holders and money borrowers. Government, through, we make deposits in bank. The banks use our money in buying government securities to also get returns on their investment, and then they can now pay their depositors. Is that not? Now, ask yourself this. Government has reduced coupon payment through the debt exchange program from 19.1% to 9% on banks. Do you get the point? And what government has even advanced to commercial banks, they've reduced the duration of payment from 13 years to 8 years.
There must be some brother Likee TV comment section notification bell no click to share the latest beyond Sabe can be Akroma.